Hi, I'm Shauna Karish, and I'm here to answer another question from Ask Shauna. These questions are sent in to AskShauna.com. So if you have any questions about your horse and how to utilize positive reinforcement to get him on target for anything that you can think of under saddle, there's a way to do it. So just send them in to AskShauna.com. Okay, today's is kind of a long question, so sit tight through this. It says, hi Shauna, I purchased your book and video a few years ago when my sister and I purchased our 2 horses as older gals, having had horses in high school and post-college. It's been 20 years, which I love. Our mare had a colt and now a gelding who will be 3 in January. He's an Arabian, incredibly smart, and knows how to think well. He has shown successfully in sport horse in hand, having been champion at 2 of the 3 shows he attended, and loves to learn. Our plan is to enjoy dressage with him. He's very athletic. Problem, he gets a cranky face with his handler when they move off into a trot together and seems very competitive. He stays in position but does not look like a willing partner. I was starting to use clicker training last week with him, standing or backing and teaching him to bring his ears forward and expect the positive reinforcement. I also started using the verbal cue here for ears up, and he is making the connection really well. How do I take it to the next step of having him look happy when trotting alongside someone? He is fine at the walk. Backing out of our space is still somewhat of an ear back moment, but as mentioned, he is getting an idea that a pleasant, willing expression results in something good, so we have progress. What is the next step? I have not target trained him yet. Unfortunately, Treasure is almost 2 hours away, so I can't be there as often as I want, about once a week. But my sister and nephew can work with him on this. Okay, you are on the right track. I have to say, it's just a little bit. Sometimes it's easier when you can teach something very black and white. You know, you're teaching them to go to a target. But with the ears, it's a little bit random because you're looking for them to put together that it's when the ears are coming forward. And it sounds like you're making great progress with Treasure with that. Seems like he's starting to comprehend when my ears are forward. And as far as getting to the trot, you got the idea with the walk. I think getting through the back, since the backing up, he has moments when it sounds like his ears are forward and his ears are back. I think that if he can learn to always do the back, since it's kind of a hit or miss there, but he's seeming to put it together. I think if he starts learning to put his ears forward with that, and when you see that solid there, I think he'll start to get it. I love that you're putting it on a cue and using the here. Just stick with it. You're on the right path with him. And then what I would do is, as the walk, I would get that walk just a little bit brighter. Another, like as you're trying to go to the trot, just have him walking with you and then click and reinforce, click and reinforce. As you step up to the trot, just to ever so slightly trot, if his ears go back, kind of ignore it and keep trotting a little bit, so you need to make sure you have room to keep going or go in a circle or something. And when you see his ears go forward or give him the here, you could click and reinforce that. So you're just going to have to move into that area. Another thing that may actually help him is once you get him target trained, as you start asking for him to touch the target, and usually what happens is they're focusing forward. So as they're focusing forward and looking at the target, their ears are forward. So maybe as you get him target trained and then introduce the target as you trot, you may see him looking forward and trying to follow the target, and you can utilize that and reinforce him as the ears are forward. And then as you've got that solid, start just fading the target out. So at first, you hold it out to his side as he's trotting along, click and reinforce and pick it up and click and reinforce. And then the next thing I would do is then start to drop the target, so it's down there to the side. And if he starts to kind of get sour again, bring it back up. And as his ears come forward, you can use the word here and there again, get his ears forward and click and reinforce that. So the target may be a really good tool to help you set him up for success, to get him do what you're looking for so you can reinforce him at the trot. So that's what I'm going to recommend. It's always a little bit of trial and error, so you'll have to keep me updated with your progress so I can kind of go, okay, it sounds like this or it sounds like that. Also, another thing is try to think if there's a place that he likes to work better than other places. Make sure that there's, that he's got good footing or whatever it is where he might be brighter and happier, or even a time of day. Ultimately, you want to be able to fade those things out of the equation and have them be good anytime, anywhere, even if you snap right into a target from a standstill. I mean, into a trot from a standstill. But for now, you may just need to go about it gradually. I think the target might be a good implementation. I think continuing with the back and getting consistent with his ears forward. And that sounds like you're on the right track. Just keep going. He'll start putting, it sounds like he already has started putting 2 and 2 together. Just stick with it, be consistent, and you will get there. And as far as not being able to see him all the time, I, brought Mint back after 7 years, didn't miss a beat. I have worked with horses for a short order and then be gone for months and they don't miss a beat. Sometimes I work, with something with the horses, and because I'm running the business, I won't work the trailer loading, and for a few weeks later, and poof, they're right where they were. So don't worry about not seeing them. When you're utilizing the positive reinforcement, they are totally involved in it, and that's one of the greatest things about it. They remember because it's something that they value. So you're on the right track. Stick with it. If you have more questions, don't hesitate to call. And remember, if anybody has any questions, or call, or send them through Ask Shauna, which is really the best way. So remember, it's AskShauna.com. I'm Shauna Karish, and enjoy getting your horse on target.